Are we recording?
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back to Name Loading. This is the Mustache, aka Andrew.
I'm Jay.
Why do I sound like Squidward?
And I'm Chris.
Hello, I'm Jay.
I'm Chris, just one of them real.
Say good.
So this is our second take of an intro. Actually, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here, but this is episode 6. We were going to get into more Gear 5 stuff, but we missed out. But we did come across that last episode was episode 5, and we did watch Gear 5. So how about that?
Does that count as a podcast episode?
It was a special episode, special fifth episode.
One time only.
Yeah.
Special episode, Morty.
Sorry, I don't like reactions.
And so this episode we are going to get into Twitter takes. We kind of had a really good conversation going, and then we found out we weren't recording the audio. So we'll try to still keep it good. But yeah.
What are we going to talk about?
So
Hopefully we don't.
I know I went on quite the tirade too.
You missed it, guys. He was in tears.
I was crying. The only thing I cry over is Attack on Titan, correct?
Right. That's what we're talking about.
So we have a bunch of different things that we kind of send each other throughout the week or when we see certain things. To me, at least, the biggest things... I know Chris has quite the collection of different anime takes that he gets on his feed.
Unfortunately.
Mine is more very much One Piece centric. One Piece or JoJo's, if anything. And there's been a lot of... Because I don't want to call it slander, because I don't think it's slander. I think it's very one-sided opinions.
It's very passionate
fandoms.
Opinions that are wrong.
Oh.
I see. I wouldn't even call them wrong or right.
Not wrong. It's just they need to be checked for an extra chromosome.
It's a lot of fan bases doing what they do best and defending their anime by putting down other anime,
which makes no sense.
Yeah, it's almost fanatical, like, because there's like being like a fan and like being very into that anime and thinking it's the best, and then there's just like this fanatical level of like tribalism where like it gets really stupid and like gross, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I guess that's kind of what we're going to delve into.
Yeah.
The cesspool that is Twitter anime takes, or maybe just takes in general. Maybe there's some other things, most likely just anime.
I feel like the biggest discussion right now is the new Boruto release versus the Gear 5, stuff for One Piece. Which, if you're a fan of either, if you're a fan of both,
I'm a fan.
I feel like everybody's eating right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing.
I know why, try to pit communities or fandoms against each other when Kishimoto and Oda are, best friends.
Yeah.
It's canon that Luffy and Naruto are friends. So,
I think there's only, one person that Oda doesn't get along with. And it's not even Oda not getting along with him. It's just the author kind of being I want to try more.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Hunter x Hunter guy, right?
I don't know if it's... Part of me wants to say it's Bleach.
Really?
But I don't want to for sure.
I think so.
Because I think the author for Bleach was I try really hard to work on my story and art, and it doesn't come so freely to me as other artists like Oda.
And he took it like a slight or...
I don't think Oda took it as a slight. I think he took it as oh, maybe I should try harder now. It was more of okay, that means, this is... I don't want to say my equal, but this is my familiar or my peer.
Yeah.
And if he thinks I'm not trying hard enough, then maybe I should try harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fucking made Gear 5. Oh my god.
10 years later. No, I'm joking.
But, and that's the thing is that I feel and this goes from bounds of anime, this goes into normal TV, this goes across music. It's when the crowd is getting stuff, why be mad?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's you have, you know, music wise, you have Taylor Swift releasing a new album, you have Travis Scott releasing a new album, and it's like both parties are like getting money, dog. Like
Yeah.
they're getting way more money than you, and you're the one sweating about who's better.
Yeah. It's not to be on some old head stuff, but it's just something about social media and being able to get into echo chambers. It just makes people feel like you have to choose a side.
Mhm.
Like you have to choose like a lane in a lot of like it's black or white. Like you have to be one or the other. And that's just not particularly like the case for most people. Like most people just don't work like that. Like there's aspects of everything that you're going to like, but it feels like you have to, because if you don't, then you deal with all of this backlash. So it's like, and I think that's what happens with the discourse around anime. If you're a Bleach fan, you have to say Bleach is the best and that everything that Bleach does is better than everything that every other anime does. If you're a Naruto fan, same thing, and so on and so forth. And it creates this like rhetoric of where you can't just enjoy all of them. Even though, like, if most people did chill out, they probably do. But unfortunately, that's just not the case.
I think it's also too, like, with Twitter being such a at your fingertips quick kind of thing, watching something off the bat and just being like, this is the best thing I've ever seen, kind of living in that high of it, and somebody goes, you're dumb.
Yeah.
That's not the best thing that's ever been out. And it's like, bro, I'm just enjoying what I'm watching, you know?
Yeah.
And it's you have the...
How dare you have an opinion of something that's not like my opinion?
Yeah.
Not to mention, you also have the idea of, like, the ratio of Twitter, which I think has now become the worst thing to ever happen. Oh, sorry, not Twitter. Of X.
It's Twitter. I'm never going to call it.
You have, like, you know, people who don't even tweet about anime, tweeting about anime just because they know it's going to get, you know, people commenting, people liking, people, you know, the discourse.
Because I will say a lot of the stuff that some of the guys on you can tell they're trolling.
Yeah.
But it's going to get that interaction. And there also is this thing where you can tell some people aren't internet bred, so they don't know that it's trolling, even though it's very clear to like anyone else. But for them, it's that's just not the case. And with that, you do end up with a lot of detractors. But another reason I think you end up with so much hate is the reality is most of these guys did not watch all three.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's very easy to shit on the one that you didn't see and have a negative take on the one you didn't watch. But it just makes you look sillier because it's like, well, you're crapping on something that you have no context for. You see this one clip on Twitter, you're like, yeah, but that's not better than this clip over here. But it's like, yeah, but you don't understand any of the context around it because you didn't watch the series at all. So I also think that, like, that's pretty goofy you get from people where it's like, okay, well, you didn't experience the whole, I guess you could say it's gatekeeping, but if you don't experience it, how can we take your opinion as valid on it?
No, see, and to me, that's not gatekeeping at all. That's the way it is. Yeah. You know, you have somebody who is willing to, you know, in the movie space, you go, oh, you know, all these Marvel movies suck because, you know, they're just about a random superhero doing a random thing, defeating a random villain. It's like,
have you seen any?
Yeah, no. And it's like, if you've been there since the beginning, like, this is a timeline, dude. Like, these are, you know, people coming together, people falling apart, like, all these different things, and it's like,
dying.
So before, just take it a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that comes down to even the kind of critics thing. When you see critics do reviews of Marvel movies or superhero movies, they go, oh, well, this movie kind of doesn't make sense because, you know, this random person from this planet is coming in to defeat this person. It's like, yeah, but if you watched the movie before that, you would know that that's the villain that's been played at for the last, you know, 5 to 6 movies.
Yeah, I know that was, like, one of the bigger things with the Scarlet Witch and Multiverse of Mad. People were like, if you didn't watch WandaVision, then you're just not going to get what's going on. And to some extent, yes, movies should be designed to have new people be able to sit down and watch it and understand what's going on. Or even people who just so happen to miss WandaVision sit down and watch it. But at the same time, with something like Marvel or with most animes, jumping into the middle of it at any point and missing some of the knowledge, like, it's hard to feel bad for
Yeah.
you. Like, obviously, like, it is annoying that you do have to keep up with it, but at the same time, that's a part of it, right? Like, if you want to understand everything that's going on, then you need to have all of the information. So I don't necessarily feel bad for you when you don't, because, well, that's just how it works. Like, you wouldn't jump into the middle. Yeah, you wouldn't jump into the middle of Wano, never watching One Piece, and then be like, I don't get why they're all in kimonos.
Well, you can do that
like
with
they were pirates.
You can do that
It's
with anything. You can't jump into the last movie of Harry Potter and expect to know what the
It's-
fuck's
it's-
happening.
It does feel like jumping in literally at the middle of any movie and being like, so what happened at the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Why is this guy mad at this guy?
Yeah. Because I'd seen
Where's
somebody,
his nose?
somebody being like,
Why
they were
can't
like,
you touch him?
oh man, Gear 5 is so goofy. Like, why is Gear 5 so goofy? And it's like, have you watched Alabasta?
Have you watched
like-
any?
Yeah,
Like,
did you watch
yeah.
any of One Piece at all?
And it's
Luffy
like-
is one of the goofiest
Yeah.
motherfuckers out there.
Yeah. And to
And
your...
I love it.
if you want to start the subject you
Oh,
were doing. Because
yeah.
I think that does lean into...
So
Into
what really started me off, because we usually try to find the subjects for the episodes kind of throughout the week, but sometimes we just go kind of like run and gun and find something and run it with that. So I had seen one that was like about Naruto versus One Piece, and it said, when One Piece has a sequence like this, come talk to me. And then the sequence is, it says, Itachi casually pointing to himself while fighting Sasuke has to be the coldest genjutsu in Naruto anime. But what ended up happening is anytime somebody replied to this person, they brought up, One Piece being a battle shonen, they need to step it up. But One Piece isn't a battle shonen. Like, when I looked it up,
What is a battle shonen?
like, to me, a battle shonen is something that is very fight driven. And it's like, yes.
So like Bach?
Like, Baki would, I would consider Baki kind of a battle show,
Most people would say Naruto.
Yeah, like anything that, like, where almost the fighting is the
Takes
basis
focus.
of,
Dragon Ball, I guess you could say, would be the prime
Dragon Ball
example.
is the prime example,
Gotcha.
But it's like you are comparing two very different shows on the same aspect of just them being a shonen. And it's like, a lot of people forget that shonen just means a young child.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So anything that's targeted at a young child is a shonen, but then when you get into all of the the nuances, that's what makes it its genre.
Right.
And so you have, people like I had said earlier when we weren't recording, like Attack on Titan at its base is a shonen because it is a power struggle anime. This man wants to become more powerful to either surpass somebody, get more power to protect people, get more power to kind of like put his kind of ideals over the world to make sure everybody around him is safe. And that is very much a shonen. So it's like you can't come through and expect people to be like, well, talk to me when Attack on Titan has a Gear 5 like Luffy. And it's like, they're not the same.
Yeah. It just boggles my mind so much that people pit animes against other animes. It's like, and their authors being friends, like best friends. So like, it just makes no sense. Like, it's honestly infuriating because it's like, it's the whole, why do you have to depreciate something to appreciate what you like?
It, especially coming from where we work, it's like sports very much. You know what I mean?
Is this just human nature?
Honestly, yeah. It's human nature in that ability to kind of like, I'm this way and I want to shit on that way. You know what I mean? Like you in
if you don't agree,
and it's honestly, now that I think about it, perfect example: Kobe LeBron versus Sanji Zoro. They're literally on the same team.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers are like, fuck Zoro. Sanji's the man. Fuck LeBron James. Kobe's the GOAT. Bro, they're on the same team. It's just a different era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, LeBron was in his era.
Yeah. They were, but that's the thing is that, like, you have the ability to kind of surpass that person still.
Yeah.
So, like, you have Sanji who's fighting somebody, surpasses, and gets up to this next level. But if Zoro kind of does the same thing and surpasses even more, Sanji, being the scape of the show, has the ability to go, oh, well, he's gotten there. That's my new bar. And that's the thing, is that, like, if you know, I know everybody was like, oh, you know, well, we'll never get that. And it's like, yeah, we'll never get a Kobe and LeBron on the same team because of what happened. But you damn well believe that if they ended up being on the same team, it would have been tit for tat, like them going up against each other, sportsman-like, on the same team.
I would say we kind of got that because, I mean, they were on the Olympics together.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they dominated.
Yeah.
It was a redeem team, right? Yeah.
So
but, I mean,
like,
to be fair, they were all all-stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, the idea of not letting kind of peers be peers, like, for sportsmanship's sake, and just allowing the fan base to tear them down over the tiniest thing.
Yeah. It's the very much like the Unga Bunga, we're over here, so fuck those guys over there. And it's, I don't know. Like, sports is weird in that sense of, like, I get it, but, because as a Lakers fan, it is fuck Boston. Like, it's just always. Like, I can't. Like, I'll wear other teams and other players. I refuse to wear a single Boston jersey or anything Boston. I just can't with Boston. Same thing being a Steelers fan. It's fuck the Ravens. It's always going to be fuck the Ravens. But I think it's weird in anime because the competition doesn't exist. Not in the way that
sports does.
Yeah, because like winning and losing in sports determines if you get the most important prize. If every anime is having good episodes, or if every manga is having good chapters, it's just all benefits.
Yeah.
You know, so it's even weirder when, and this is all to preface, we're not saying you can't have takes of like appreciating one more. It's when the necessity of like shitting on the other, right? And with that, it just doesn't make sense, because if Bleach's anime is really good, if Gear 5 is amazing, if the Boruto manga is really good right now, everyone's eating. So why are we shitting on each other? Like, why can't we just enjoy all of them, or just appreciate that we're in a good spot right now, you know? And so that would be the only difference, I would say, is just like, I get why there's some animosity in sports. Also, just because like rivalries do exist.
I think it's just the fan bases that kind of, I wouldn't say ruin stuff in sports, because like there's players that hate each other, but there's also players on other teams that rival teams that are best friends.
It's very much, I think what happens with fan bases, and this is the same way with anime, is just some are so unbearable and so annoying that you just don't want to give them any credit. And maybe that's what's happening a little bit, because the discourse on my feed is so annoying that you don't want to give anyone any appreciation. You don't want to give Boruto fans appreciation because they're shitting on Gear 5. You're like, well, Boruto still looks fucking stupid. Or, well, Boruto looks fine. Sakura looks fucking stupid with her leg warmers. And it's like, but, I mean...
her short shorts. Why is she wearing leg warmers if she's wearing short shorts?
Just, I don't know what that man is.
If you think about it, Homeboy was wearing arm warmers. Sasuke was wearing arm warmers. Like... it's a generational thing, you know?
But it just makes you, and I do get it to that extent, because anime fans can be like cowboy fans, or in our particular situation sometimes like Raiders and Niner fans or Laker fans. Like, I am a Laker fan, but dealing with Laker fans who are like, man, fuck LeBron. It's like, he brought you a chip. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are we doing?
And that's the thing too, is that like,
or the random Warrior fans,
and you know, because of where we work, and not even because of where we work, but like talking to people who are like that, it's very easy to get their goat, and it's very easy in real life, because in real life people are like face to face, and you're feeling that like, oh, they're talking to me like this, so I have to talk right back. But it's like in the internet space in Twitter, Facebook, wherever,
Yeah.
it's very easy to get into the idea of like, okay, he's just trying to get the numbers.
Right.
He's trying to get the numbers up. So it's like,
because in person it could be like you could be like talking shit about other people's teams, but it's playful.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not no.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck, I can't English right now.
I get what you mean though. Like it's very like tongue in cheek because
Yeah.
like okay, we both are just shooting shit about our sports team.
Yeah.
Like who cares? And to that, the problem with the internet is you don't. Some people really don't know when someone else is joking.
Yeah.
So even though we might be able to tell that like certain guys when they post they're just like shooting the shit and getting clicks, a lot of people don't have that. They can't.
Except
they don't
Gio,
have
I
that
can't tell.
context.
see, well, because
Gio is an enigma.
there's somebody on there, I don't remember their name. It's like Dissident or whatever. Their profile picture is Johnny Joestar from Part 7, and like he
Oh, I know what
posted,
you're talking about.
he posted, and he's like, animes I don't fuck with, and it's like he
Oh.
lists all these animes, and he lists JoJo's on there like
Yeah.
3 times, and it's like, okay, anybody who doesn't know that you're joking is
Right.
really not gonna get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, but people who are doing it for the ratio just to get their numbers up, it's like, okay, and it's I find myself having to kind of pick that out and you know, going like, oh damn, this is really like a shitty take, and it's like, oh, but it's for the numbers.
It's bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I love the post going around right now, and it's like I think it's like a skeleton, and it's like with the one, and he's like, bait used to be believable.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
I
and
will
it's
appreciate
true.
good bait though.
And the
Like,
thing is,
it has to be good.
yeah,
Good
and,
bait. You just kind of smile.
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
This
and
is
it's hard to just be like, you know, either to say a small thing, but knowing that small thing is like, oh, that's just giving them what they want. I just need to make sure I'm smarter than that. But yeah, like I feel like power scaling goes into this. You know, we have a lot of like, you know, what character has a better transformation, because I feel like, especially in the Scape, power scaling is at, I would almost say, the heart of a lot of these discussions, because it is very much like you said, it's my team versus your team, my character versus your character.
Yeah, I think I do think that there is healthy rhetoric that can go on, and I think a lot of these where it's like, what power system do you choose, or like what character do you... I think the rhetoric around those are perfectly fine because it's more about the conversation. Like, you're still gonna have people in the comments who are just like, this is better, like this is trash because this person, like this anime is better. But for the most part, I think the conversation around those is perfectly fine. Like even the one for this week, because Bleach dropped the episode with Remy dropping the asteroid or the meteor, and so there was just like, well, this is the best meteor destroy moment in anime. And so you have this whole rhetoric of like, well, Sasuke did it better in the movie, and then Madara did it better here, and then Zoro did it better in the movie. And I think that stuff is fine.
Man, the best one was Saitama, I'm not gonna lie. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, you did do it. I don't know, man. For me, it's that Zoro one's really sick. Well, I just like the way they draw it of like I just like that drawing of just like, oh, it hits, shink. Poof,
It's funny that half of these are all the same.
We're looking at sorry, Jay is very like Jay is very
ADHD.
yes, but going with what we're talking about, yeah, like I think everybody just needs to settle down a little bit. Everybody just needs to appreciate what they're appreciating.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid that you like One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Boruto, Bleach.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you're
me.
you're
That's what
at
I'm
the
saying, like-
pinnacle right now. Like, you're,
Yeah.
It's
I'm
one of those,
eating.
yeah, because like, and
I'm American,
you can
I'm getting
relate
fat.
to this. Like when you watch all three and you read all three, it's hard. You can still have a favorite, and you can still appreciate something that one did over the other, but it's hard to hate any of them.
No.
Like if because you know, I know you guys all watching them, but like me being 9-10 years old while the shonens that were made for my age group are going on and watching them every Saturday, you know, and like having that like literally growing with them, it's hard to look at one and be like, well, this one's just dog shit. Like, do I appreciate ones over the other? Of course, because I mean that's just how like having autonomy works. But as far as like, no, like Bleach's swords are just better than any black sword in One Piece because Bleach is so cool. It's like that's just fucking corny. Like, you know. So it really is hard. And then I know you guys appreciate.
Is Rurouni Kenshin? Sorry, a shonen? Or is that something? It's called something else.
I'm not sure.
Yu Yu Hakusho is definitely shonen.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Were you gonna fish?
No.
Wow. We had this man spitting over here.
I know it hit. When my shit hits, it just hit. I don't mean to cut people off. It just happens.
But yeah, I think everybody is appreciative of everybody's stuff, or at least they should be, because that's what drives us to be
common
better people.
sense people.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a few different things from Twitter that we've been wanting to go through. I did want to talk about this. So did you hear the rumor for Demon Slayer? So
the movie thing?
Yes, because some of the arcs are so small, they're thinking about continuing the movie aspect and doing movies for some of these arcs that may be smaller.
I mean, it wouldn't be dumb because the Mugen Train made
Mugen
an insane amount.
Yeah.
It took over Ghibli's record, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So it's like because we got the Swordsmith's Village. So
what's next? Training arc,
and then I think there's either one more, or maybe the training arc is the one that they're talking about. That would be.
I would assume it's training arc because that one's it's just them training.
Yeah,
obviously.
Because after the training arc, that's when they go into the final battle, pretty much, right?
That's when they go to Illusionary Castle.
Yeah. So it's like that's near the end.
Illusionary Castle, they can stretch that shit out for 2 seasons or a really long season. Because some of those fights, I mean...
Because right now, too...
Honestly, just doing those fights as movies would
probably
be really nice.
Going into that as a movie, you have a lot of stuff that is appreciated there. But then you have, on the other aspect, you have My Hero getting its 4th movie.
Oh,
that's probably not going to be canon again. And it's like, you have one doing it very well, keeping canon, doing all this stuff, and then you have these other ones that are just...
Who writes My Hero again?
I don't know his name.
Some bum.
But it's Studio Bones that actually does it.
Studio Bums. Again.
You had a chance to say boner, but Studio Boner.
Proud of that?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
Boner Studio.
Don't say Boner Studio. That's great.
I'm 12 years old. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one because you sent this one.
I didn't send the tweet with it?
No, it was just the photo.
I don't remember either. Was this supposed to be like...
is this fandoms?
High school?
Is this fandoms as like...
I think it's supposed to be them in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These are the... There's...
Yeah, this would be like the high school makeup.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys can't see this.
Oh, no, they will. They will see it.
Okay.
I'm a trifecta of the middle, bottom left, and bottom right.
So it's got Naruto and Ichigo saying that they're the ones who would get bullied, and then it's got Luffy and Goku as the bullies.
Well, they're going to see it. That's funny.
Those are pretty spot on. Because, Luffy just...
No,
he's so open, he just talks so much shit. But I don't think he would realize that I don't think either of them realize how much they're actually bullying the other kids. But Goku's gonna try and fight everybody. Be like, what's up? Let's throw hands.
So the one I will actually disagree with is Ichigo and the one that gets bullied. Because we see in the first episode of fucking Bleach that he fights those bullies and beats their ass.
I feel like...
So I think he's in the don't give a fuck box.
Yeah.
I feel like with Luffy... He's the one that's, gonna be your friend, but he doesn't also get that he's also making fun of you at the same
Yeah.
time.
Like, because his name calling in
Yeah.
One Piece is so good that I could totally see him. Yeah, he's just like calling people
Yeah.
mean things, but he's just like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, big head. What?
NPCs are, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know
Tanjiro
who
and
that is either.
Boruto.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the guy from Fate?
No.
Oh.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I think Tanjiro would get bullied.
Tanjiro
Yeah.
would get bullied.
I feel like the wannabe bullies in Attack on Titan makes sense.
Yeah.
Same thing with the think they're mature.
Oh, absolutely. You're just like, we're so above all of this.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
What's that guy's name
We're so
again from
dark.
that samurai manga?
That. If you hadn't said it, I would have. Miyamoto? No.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like the famous samurai.
Samurai, that dual one? Yeah.
This
Dingy.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who that other guy is.
This
but
is from
Dingy
Rent a Girlfriend.
is definitely 24/7 horny. Yeah, the JoJo guys are just chilling.
Yeah.
They're just chilling.
Yeah. They're, if anything, they're like the potheads of the high school.
Yeah, they're just at their table,
Yeah.
chilling. Everybody fucks with them, but
Yeah.
they're just to themselves. I don't know what that is.
Aishino Ko is like an anim or
It's definitely
idol,
the
kinda
weebs of the high school.
Yeah.
And no one talks to them, fights amongst themselves. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't.
So yeah, Jay brought up a really good thing about this one is that a lot of them are
They're derivatives of each other.
very much so.
Because, like, what? Ki, energy.
Cursed energy and spirit energy from Yu Yu Hakusho are the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know what gay ass is, but.
You're stupid.
Same thing with the Magoi is like magic.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Nen is the same thing as energy too. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, Ki and chakra.
I would say
Nen, mana,
Yeah.
energy.
Rayatsu.
Yeah.
It's all
It's all the
Yeah.
same.
It's all the same. The only ones that are really different, I would say, are like stands, hockey, devil fruit.
See,
Well, hockey is
yeah.
key.
I would because
You guys would still say it's key?
Yes,
because
that's exactly
especially-
what it is.
especially in the episode is I think it's 10:15 when they're talking about like because they're like
Let it
you
flow.
guys call it hockey,
We
but
call
we
it
call it
Ryo.
Ryotsu. You're like yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
It's key.
Alright.
It's key. Yeah. It's key before
Because
Goku.
I think that's
crazy.
why. I think that's why what brought up the argument too that the hockey, like the blackness of the hockey,
Mm.
you wouldn't see it
Mm.
because it may just be an inner energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is
See-
that Demon Weapons is from fuck, what's it called?
That's from I think
Soul
it's from
Eater.
Soul. Yeah.
So okay, but to be fair, Bleach has demon weapons. If you wanna. Talk.
Yeah, but it's all right.
It-
Rayatsu based and how
Yeah.
you like flow it through yourself. Now, see, if they had put Bankai on here, then you could make an argument
true,
that
yeah.
Bankai's and. But then I guess then you would have to put
See, because remember, demon weapons
Star
are
Raiders
actual
and
people.
stuff.
Right. So I mean, demon weapons and stand would be, I guess, the same
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, those are closer. Yeah. Because like yeah,
Well, demon weapons would be close because like your Zombok toe technically is like a sentient.
like an
being.
oh okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question is though, with the sentient being, does he like live? Because like remember, soul is like an
Yoruichi.
actual person.
I
Like,
guess would that be spoilers? Kenpachi's so strong that his spiritual pressure manifests into another living being.
but that's what I'm saying though. Is that like with with the demon weapon and being like in Soul Eater, it's like a user and a.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
But
so like that
I
person
would
walks
argue that-
around and he is a normal person before he is.
I
the
get what
weapon.
you
Oh,
mean.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since I watched
Yeah.
the anime. That they have like, quote unquote, a partner, and that
Yeah.
partner turns
Yeah.
into a weapon. Yeah.
No, I get what you mean, but I think if you just boil it down to its like core things, they're essentially the same.
Yeah.
See, like Gias is its own thing. I would
Yeah.
consider that.
A
Stands are
dojutsu.
pretty.
So it's like Naruto.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh no! Like it's almost like the power of suggestion. Like
yeah.
to be fair, yeah.
So like Ada in Boruto.
I don't know.
Oh.
I've never.
Yeah, Devil Fruits is really like The only one.
Devil Fruit's in alchemy.
Yeah, but who the fuck's choosing alchemy?
I don't know, man. Alchemy's kind of dope.
It's cool, but
Isn't
like
alchemy just kind of magic?
No, alchemy is equivalent exchange. So if you have to take something to give it
No,
back,
I get
you know
that.
what I, mean?
I get the rules,
but it's not magic.
It's combining two things into one.
it's also the lamest one. I'm gonna take this
Transmutation
spoon and turn it
is a
into
school of
knife.
magic.
It's like, wow, you're so cool.
No, because remember in the show, transmutation has different fields
Oh my God.
of manifestation.
Do you want fire or do you want explosions or do you want?
We just had a really good
fucking
conversation about how like we respect each other's things, and this is what happened. Okay, this one. Which characters suffered the most in their life?
If you don't say guts,
We're just removing guts off of the list. They always make these and they put guts in them, and it's like let's just remove guts, because like guts.
Who's middle top?
Killua.
Oh, that's Killua?
Kurapika. It's not Killua. It's the other one. Kurapika?
Oh, Kurapika. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Who's the bottom?
He's
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
That's ReZero.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen that.
To me,
So should we run down who everyone is? So like,
That's
For listeners.
from Vinland
Yeah.
Saga.
Vinland definitely has its points, but I feel like at the same time too, like it's very much just you've had the wrong role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are things that I think it's a lot of dwelling, if anything. You know what I mean?
Itachi and
Oh,
Sasuke being
the
weird.
middle guy is like the Sharingan user in Hunter x Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They took my people's eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, poor you.
See, and that's the thing
Oh
is
no,
that
Donzo did the same thing.
that's the
And worse. And worse.
that's the hard thing is that when you have these characters that are like, oh, who had it worse?
It's like trauma, like
trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or not even trauma dumping.
Like,
It's
whose
like
trauma's
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They're all bad.
It's power scaling with trauma.
Yeah.
don't even get me started on Kanagi.
Dude was born without anything.
Yeah. To me, he's the man, dude. He's the one.
I've never seen that.
To be fair,
So okay.
do you? I love the anime and the manga, but did you like him more when he didn't have as much body parts?
I feel like he has a.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very.
Because
It's hard.
his sword arms were dope as fuck.
So essentially, what happens is his father wants to be such a powerful
Well, his dad's a piece of shit.
like dynasty leader.
Shogun
Yeah.
or daimyo or something. Yeah.
That he's like, he prays to the demons. He says, "I will give you anything you want. Just please make me the best. Make me the most powerful." And they said, "Okay, we're gonna take your firstborn."
Oh, sure.
And they didn't just take his firstborn. Each demon took a part of his firstborn.
So eyes, face, ears, limbs,
Damn.
and he's still born though.
Like, so you see him like he's just like a kind of like a husk.
Yeah, a husk of a baby. Like,
yeah, it's fucked, dude.
and so what ends up happening is the mother still loves the baby and is like, he's our child.
So
you know?
she Moses him down the river.
Yeah, pretty much. And somebody finds him and kind of is able to teach him the ways of like being a human. But then he finds out that like, oh, these demons took all of this stuff from me. He's like, so it's my journey to become whole again. But he ends up finding out like his dad had another son and that son is like loved the most. But the son, the second son, sees him as like, oh, he's just trying to take everything from my father. But it's like, no, dude, that's your brother.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's it called again?
Dororo.
Dororo, yeah.
I
mean, old boy from Tokyo Ghoul didn't really have it that bad. The torture is kind of fucked.
To me,
except for the torture.
Yeah, like he ends up. I think Ken ends up like essentially almost having another. Like he joins another family that's even like because he was alone before.
Yeah, it's a bad role. He gets targeted by a she was a gourmet or
yeah, it was a gourmet. Yeah, or no, she wasn't a gourmet. She was a binge
she was
eater.
a snack.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then I mean, he just kind of had a bad draw, but then he kind of benefited from it. the whole
But
Jason
he's
torturing
cool.
him
Yeah.
is kind of fucked, but like
He comes back.
he comes back, yeah.
bro.
I was gonna say, like, how do we quantify stuff how do we quantify suffering? Because I would say he suffered for a significantly less amount of time than everyone else
Yeah.
on the list. So
Yeah.
it's like,
But
yeah,
I mean,
it was rough. Like his torture was kind of like, it was a roller coaster where it's like 10 getting tortured.
See, and that's how I feel about Aaron as well. He goes through this really bad point, and then he kind of makes the decision to show, okay, I need to advance. But when he starts to advance, he finally kind of grows into his own. So it's like, okay, you have now become the thing that you have kind of like sworn to destroy. So now, what's the point?
I mean, Guts just gets it bad throughout.
We just gotta remove Guts from these conversations.
he as a childhood, bad. Then it gets kind of good. Then he joins the Hawks.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Then bad.
Cause if Kanagi does one, Guts' whole life is just
Yeah.
it's
Fucking bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
See, because and even then, like I feel, and you guys would probably know more because it's been a definitely long while for me with Sasuke. I feel like Sasuke, yes, goes through the pain of losing his family, ends up,
Honestly, I think Itachi has it worse than Sasuke.
Yeah.
He had to do it, but with good intentions.
He had to do it, and then he had to leave his village and his brother, and he had to be a pariah to the village and to his brother, who fucking hated him. And then he failed to stop his brother, because he even set up things to, like, protect him. All that shit failed. He ended up going with fucking Orochimaru, and he had ninja cancer.
See? But even then, with that, the reason they fail is because Sasuke himself.
Yeah.
It's like, Itachi definitely had it worse than Sasuke, because, like, yeah, he's the one who had to massacre his whole village. Like, imagine that, like, you're standing over your dad, and he's like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Fuck. No! It's like, I feel for Itachi. I don't feel for Sasuke, because, like, he did lose his whole village, which was rough, but every other bit of pain Sasuke felt has been self-imposed. Mm-hmm. Because, like, yes, you lost your clan, but you were still the most highly regarded person, kid in the village. Like, all the girls wanted you. Mm-hmm. You were destined to be a great shinobi.
And you threw it all away for a snake fetish.
Yeah, what? Yeah, he would have been like almost the second coming of his brother.
Basically.
I mean, basically.
Yeah. The only thing that Sasuke was just like that hunger for power to beat Itachi, and even then, like that hatred is just like, yeah, I get why you hate him, but like you've turned away everyone and everything.
Dude, after finding out all the shit that Itachi had to go through, those lines under his eyes fucking make sense.
Yeah. Itachi was tired, bro. He was 12 going on Anbu missions alone. Like, he was tired. Yeah, dude, Homie was tired, bro. Oh, man. He lost his best friend. We didn't even talk about Shinsui.
Dude, he had to kill the love of his life.
He had to kill the love of his life. His best friend killed himself because he was too strong. He had to answer to fucking Danzo. Imagine having to answer to Danzo, bro. Like, come on. Like, yeah, it's not even close.
With Kurapika, his story isn't done because the manga isn't done. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, for the most part, yes, he goes through trauma at the very beginning. But later, he kind of, like, finds his group. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily the worst thing to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the problem is, like, if we're talking about people who suffered, right? And it's the same thing with Sasuke, where it's like, Kurapika did suffer, and he still suffers in the sense that, like, he's lost his people for an unjust reason. But homie's doing fine.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why, like, these lists are hard when they put Guts in it. Because Guts will be doing fine for a little while, and then have to go straight back to suffering. And once he gets to the mark, yeah, he finds people who who alleviate some of the stress off of him with Casca. But at the end of the day, like, he's still being hunted by evil spirits. And he still can't really get a good night's rest because they're constantly trying to kill him and take him. It's like, and not to mention having to be worried about Casca, having to deal with every single time there's an eclipse, And even here at the end, it's like, oh, Casca got her memories back. Like, I've got my new group, my new band of friends, and oh, Griffith just showed up and stole her away from me again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so I just never get to be happy.
Oh, Rip Moira, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. It was getting good again too, because it kind of like, I don't want to say it's stagnant as far as the manga, but it was kind of at a point where it's like
a plateau.
Not a plateau. It's just kind of grooving, like just the story, and you can tell it was about to ramp up again. But then he passed away, which fucking just sucks.
Yeah, because his last chapter was she got her memory and saw guts and just had like that panic attack, and then he passed away.
They were on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you just knew he was about to cook up something crazy, and then we lost the man.
Yeah, so I would say like.
So not only does Guts suffer, but Guts fans suffer too.
Truly an artist. Yeah, then I would say definitely these two.
Yeah, that's why I just have to remove him
and...
from these lists, because when he's in lists like this, it just makes it unfair. So yeah, I didn't watch that anime, so I can't pick him, but I understand from what you guys said that like, yeah, he's been through it. So for me, it probably would be Itachi.
Honestly, dude, and what's crazy is other outside the list, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is a vintage anime.
Yeah.
It's a remake. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a
really?
remake, and it's beautifully done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The remake is like old like when we talk about how like
80s, it's
like
80s
Year 5
anime.
was like that's how the characters look. They looked very like big nose, big head, like old school like
so
Looney
like some
Tunes.
Astro
Yeah,
Boy
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But they redid it, and it's like only a 12 to 24
really?
episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep telling you like you gotta watch this. Dororo, I think you would actually definitely like, because it has like the brutalness of like Berserk with like a very compelling story, and like it has swordplay, which I know you like.
So there are a couple of these that I'm gonna skip over because I really want to get to this one, and we are pretty close to an end here. We have about 10 to 13 minutes until an outro or an hour. But which anime had the biggest jump in quality between arcs?
This one's also not fair, because like you can't put Long Long Ranch and then fucking
yeah.
Like anything versus Long Ranch is a fucking meme. But if we want to say what was technically the previous
Skypiea.
So if you want to talk about Skypiea and Water 7, then it's like I'm not technically sure. I don't know what the Berserk one's supposed to be.
Yeah, because that's
like a tree.
No, because it's supposed to be him. That one's him leaving the Band of Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. Like, is that supposed to encapsulate all of Golden Age? Because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because that happened before that, didn't it? No, wait, I'm wrong.
Because I think what they're doing is Black Swordsman arc to Golden Age. I think that's what they're trying to imply.
Yeah.
But I never really looked at it like that, but I guess. But even Black Swordsman takes place after.
Yeah.
Like, because we only get him killing the snake dude, and then it jumps to Golden Age. So I don't
understand what it's supposed to be referencing.
Yeah, part 6 to part 7.
It's hard to not say that that's a better jump. But then you're also coming off the greatest part of all time, part 5. So, of course, part 6 seems very bad. So, I would definitely agree that part 7 is better than part 6. So, if it was part 5 going into part 7, it would be flipped. It'd be like the biggest drop, biggest drop off,
honestly, it would still be probably the biggest gap in quality for me. I don't know. I think part 6 is fine.
I do think part 6 is fine,
I don't know. Part 7 is a perfect part.
Can't say anything I haven't seen.
We've talked about that a lot, and it's like the Araki does this weird jump where you have like really good part, it skips to like a subpar part, then it goes to a really good part, and that I feel like that's how it kind of goes sometimes.
Yeah.
The jump for Hunter x Hunter is very significant, but I can't just justify ants being.
I think the reason
That's probably the biggest jump, honestly. Even though I do like that arc, you do go into Chimera Ant, and Chimera Ant is
I think that's because
really
you
good.
have this part, which is yes, there's like loss there, but in the Chimera Ant arc, there's like enormous loss.
Yeah,
in that
things
arc.
are truly dire
Yes.
in Chimera Ant.
My whole thing with Hunter x Hunter is I don't like that Killua is a more interesting and has more. I haven't caught up with the manga, obviously, but I just don't like how he's more interesting and has more backstory than the main character.
See, and it's kind of funny because you go through, and even this goes down into after like the anime is finished, but he ends up meeting up with his dad. You learn that like the Chimera Ants are not from like our world; they're from like another world.
Yeah, Dark Continent.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, okay, so like, it almost feels like this whole part for the beginning of anime has been almost a prologue for what we're gonna get into like the more serious stuff.
That makes more sense then.
Because I'm not gonna say like stuff that isn't in like the like original Hunter x Hunter stuff isn't as important, but when you learn, oh yeah, things are way more serious over here, then you go, oh shit, this was the light stuff.
Yeah, because they're considered like a B, like they're considered really weak. Like Chimera Ants are considered like not a threat on the Dark Continent.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, these things that almost like eradicated humanity
Oh.
are like a meme where they're from. It's like, damn.
Wait, so is the Dark Continent another dimension or just another part of the planet?
No, it's like it's literally just a continent on the other side of the world.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they explain it really weird. Like the tree is what connects it, right? Because it's something with like a large tree that connects.
Mm-hmm.
I think that part to the next part or something like that.
So you can't cross over unless you go through a tree or some shit?
Because they go up to like this big tree. I could be wrong.
Remember, yeah. I just know that like because the Dark Continent is considered otherworldly because of the things that exist on it.
Gotcha.
And so I think they said they've only discovered like 2 or 3 things from the Dark Continent. One was obviously the Chimera Ants, and then the other one was like basically this zombie. Like it didn't have its head, but it was like a fungal orb, and it kept it alive forever. Like it didn't have to eat or anything.
The Dark Continent is located in the outside world.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, like...
So it's the upside down.
So, yeah, so it says that is a place that stretches beyond the known world, which is nested inside the gigantic Lake Mobius, located at the center of the Dark Continent. Apparently the human race migrated from there to the known world. So essentially it's like almost like saying, I'm not saying this is fact the way I'm putting it, but like it would be like the United States is the known world, and then the Dark Continent is everything other than the United States.
Basically,
yeah.
No, that sounds right.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's just I think stakes is what really changes it.
Steak?
Yeah.
Yeah, stakes, rare stakes.
Stakes and just like the fights too, because you do get Gon giving up all of his nin.
Mm-hmm.
You do get Miram versus what's the old man?
Oh yeah.
Let's call them lobes.
Even
Netero,
Miram's like Netero, yeah. Even his like finding value in humanity or whatever through the girl, like all that stuff. Like all that stuff is really good.
Oh, I just realized what those pieces were. Once you saw that girl.
Yeah, the shogi, yeah. Yeah, because like I love. To me, I really like that Greed Island kind of arc because thinking about it of like, oh, this is a video game, and then you find out that no, it's just a different continent. It's not really a game. Mm-hmm. But like that is honestly just a giant training arc, though. Like, this is how we really use our nin. This is how we really progress our nin. Yeah. And this is like Chimera Ant arc is like, okay, now use it. Mm. But yeah, because I feel like some of the other ones...
Yeah, the fumble bag is whatever.
Yeah. But I feel like this one
Which death affected you most?
can really, like...
No, this is a pretty easy list.
Okay, I would say Sasha, yeah.
Fuck Gabby.
Yeah.
But,
real.
yeah.
Like, yes, we get her from the beginning of the season, but it's like, after she's dead, it really doesn't, like, shake the world. You know what I mean?
Who's that one?
Grave of the Fireflies? It's a Studio Ghibli movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Rengoku one's sad, but it doesn't hit the same.
See,
you don't spend enough time with Rin.
Yes, exactly.
And that's kind of the issue.
No, I mean, I think the one that hurts the most is the girl and the dog.
I think because of how the shockwaves have gone, of course.
Holy shit.
I honestly...
Bro, as that was... What?
The Jiraiya death definitely hit. I think that was like... I think after he died, I really stopped caring about Naruto.
Damn. Well, because I feel like Jiraiya's death, like, the whole episodes that led up to it were, like, you see Naruto's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, like, how everyone was feeling.
Yeah.
I think it makes it worse, too, like, when you end up finding out, like,
That was
his connection to...
his dad and all that
Well,
stuff.
that, and then, like, what... is it Kanan, right? The paper user? Like, what her and the other two, like...
Nagato.
Yeah, like, were to him. It's, like, that makes it worse. Like, that makes me more mad that happened.
Yeah. Sasuke's death doesn't hit for me. Or Itachi, sorry. Because... Because I have that volume, and like the all the information you get is insane. And even when he's like, he couldn't bring himself to kill his little brother, and he gets the boop, you're like, oh man, that's crazy.
Well, he wasn't even
yeah, he was doing it blind.
Yeah.
First of all, it is like, yeah, he fucking had ninja cancer, fucking was dying.
He was gonna die anyway. So he's like, if I'm gonna die, why not just power up the person I love the most?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you can't feel bad about that one. Like, you feel for Itachi, but you're just like, you can't feel like, it doesn't hit like a loss.
Yeah, because the Jiraiya one hits, dude. Like, the Jiraiya one was rough, bro.
Because to be, like, as sad as it is too, like, the Ace one doesn't really hit me.
The Ace one just makes me mad. Ace one just makes me so fucking mad.
The Ace one is very frustrating because...
He could have walked away.
That, but as well as, like you were saying with the Itachi one, it almost feels like a man out of time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh shit, like, you know, he's always kind of been on borrowed time. He's been hidden. Mm-hmm. When he finally does set out, like, I think what's very sad is you end up finding out Ace's backstory, which really drives home all of that stuff.
It just, it sucks that they had to use him as a narrative push for Luffy.
Yeah. See, and even so, like, even now, you know, we've been in Wano and stuff like that.
They
like,
could have just killed Sabo again.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I do understand the idea of, like, giving your hero a great tragedy. But I think what makes it so frustrating is the sequence of events that led up to him being there were so avoidable at every point. That's what pisses me off. It's like, it does hurt and it'll always sting because Ace was so cool and it's such a frustrating death. But that's the problem. It's frustrating because it's like, okay, well, you didn't have to go fight Blackbeard. Like, even once you get there...
but that's...
And then, like... Because I blame... Because, like, there's so many things. Like, I blame Whitebeard. I blame Ace. I blame fucking Garp. Like, there's so many moments. Like, everything had to go wrong for it to happen. And I guess that's the point. Like, yeah, everything went wrong, but that's what makes it so frustrating. Because there were so many opportunities for them to fucking save him.
Killed everyone.
But
not even that. It's like, bro, like, Whitebeard's there. Like, Whitebeard's there. His whole crew's there. Marco could have flown up there and tried to fight Son Goku. Like, there are so many fucking things they could have done to win that day, and they just fucking didn't. And that's what pissed me off about that death. And that's why that death bothers me so much, because it's like, I totally understand Ace dying, but like, fuck, man, like everything had to go wrong for him to die. Like if one person stepped in, or if one thing went right instead of left, Ace is still here.
Yeah, but that's, I don't know, like, especially going into kind of the supplemental content after that death happens, like, and you're like, oh, okay, like, Ace is such a stubborn character that, like, yeah, Whitebeard just going like, hey, bro, don't do it, doesn't work.
Right.
Because it's, you know, from Ace's standpoint, it's a matter of respect. You know, but even at the same time, too, when you see the clips of him in Wano versus when we see him in Alabasta, when the first thing he says, like, or one of the first things he says to Luffy is like, hey, bro, I'm part of this crew called the Whitebeard Pirates. This man's going to be king of the pirates. Like, you should join us. And he's like, no. And he's like, I figured you wouldn't. But then when you fast forward and you see him in Wano, and he's like, my little brother's going to be king of the pirates.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit. Like, he always believed in Luffy.
Yeah.
It was never like, oh, no, yeah. It was a jab. You know, oh, man, you're never going to do it. Come on, bro. Like,
yeah. It was kind of pushing him in that kind of way that he knew that how to push Luffy.
Yeah.
He is I would say a perfect Big Brother character. Him and Itachi are like opposite sides, but both very well written, like big brothers. Too bad Itachi just had the unfortunate side effect of having the shittiest little brother of all time.
and ninja cancer.
And ninja cancer.
L's death.
Oh, it's so good. It doesn't hit the same. It hits, but it hits into like this cathartic, like,
oh yeah,
fuck, he won.
See, but I think that's why it makes so much sense.
Wait,
because
have you not seen Death Note?
No.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Whoops.
I think that's why it makes sense though, because it's like, oh, okay, like Light is going down such like this dark path, and he's kind of like taking on these kind of so-called like bosses of like progressively growing darker, and it's like, oh no, you have to take the only, like, you would have to kill the only person that could have possibly been your equal.
Stop him,
yeah.
And that's what makes it so, and that's why, like, the second half is good, but that first half is nearly perfect. Because it's this insane chess game, this like 5D fucking chess match, and because even when they're in the helicopter or the car, and Light gets his memories back, and he has to kill the dude while L is sitting. You're like, bro, this is insane. And when he finally like gets L killed, first of all, he takes out every conceivable enemy.
Oh, you know what's
moment.
crazy? I've seen that clip.
Which,
oh,
the one you're talking about, the whole car ride thing where he gets his memory.
Yeah,
but that's Assassination Classroom, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know he does. I haven't even started that shit.
Well, the whole point of the show is to kill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
See, and going with, you know, moving on from the L thing, is with Assassination Classroom, it's a different feeling to where, like,
so is that a mask?
All of the
no, he's an alien.
All of the other people, like, we've kind of had like a tragic loss, and that's why they die. But with him, it's that's supposed to be the triumphant moment for the kids of like, oh, we finally have done it.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the same time too, that's gonna be their saddest moment for the rest of their life.
Because he was such a great teacher too.
Is it like Gantz? Or
so the premise is that he's an alien that shows up, and he essentially says, I'm gonna start a school, and I want you to send me your worst students, and they're going to have the charge of killing me. And then I'm not going to destroy your world.
Oh.
Yeah. But what ends up happening, and he's...
So it's like Battle Royale, kind of.
He's no... Well, yes and no, because he is the perfect teacher. He's the teacher that you want. He's the one that's going to, you know, oh, you're doing a report on Japan? Let me go ahead and super speed to Japan, get a bunch of souvenirs for you, for your report.
Oh, shit.
You know, things like that. Or
so he's so good of a teacher that he...
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that's what makes it hard, is even the government, it's like against him. But he's like, no, all I want to do is teach these kids. But the Grave of the Fireflies one, if I'm not mistaken, that one takes place during a war, and that's how she dies.
Yeah. I think I've only seen that movie once.
I know it's on Hulu. I know it's very highly regarded.
It's on, all the Ghibli movies are on
yeah,
Max.
I think so. Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's about it. We're just, I think, are a little over an hour. So that's our big Twitter episode. We're completely out of subjects right now. Oh, actually, no, we have this one. But we can get into that. It's Gear 5 character designs versus, like, every other one. So it shows, like, Ichigo's progression, Naruto's progression, as well as Luffy's progression.
Dangai, Sage, all that stuff.
But yeah, so next time we will get into that, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, so we have a break this weekend for Naruto, or not Naruto, for One Piece, both manga and show. And then after that, that will lead us into the One Piece live action.
Oh, shit.
So 31st of August will be One Piece live action. Let's see, I want to double check. Okay, we'll be fine. So that comes out on a Thursday. So I don't know what that will mean for all of us here. We should have a special guest on for that. I don't know how that will work out yet. But yeah. I would say that's been about it. So until next time, make sure if you like the video, hit it with a like. Comment down below what you thought of all of these things, especially what you feel about the discourse going on Twitter with kind of these fandoms versus other fandoms, animes versus other animes. Make sure to subscribe if you want to continue the journey with us on this podcast. We would love to have you. We have not mentioned our number one fan, Gio. Happy birthday. Hope you had a great one. But until next time, this has been Name Loading, and I have been Mustache.
Chris.
Jay.
Until
Later.
next time.
Wait, don't stop.